Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was going through the past year questions for phase 2 ESI and I came across some few points which I wanted to share with you as well. I hope this is helpful to you. So this is the this is memory based questions from 2023 ESI paper phase 2, and I'm covering a detailed objective type first. So there are two types of questions they ask marking wise. One is two marks questions and another is a 1 marks question. So in total they ask you 30 questions, okay, out of which 20 are 2 markers and 10 are 1 markers. So in total we have 20 into 240 plus 10 marks. Okay, so now the purpose of this video is to tell you how and in which way they are asking the questions nowadays. And when I went through it, I realized it's really tough. So let's, we should be prepared according to the pattern of the exam. So this is the first question, wherein they have given a passage for and we have 1 to 4 total 4 questions which they'll ask related to this. So what they have done is they have mentioned X is an international organization. Okay, so here like X is a variable, and they have given the details about what X is. Okay, they have given when it was established and where is the headquarter, and from these details what we need to do, we need to answer the question. Okay, so here are the questions where you can see they have everywhere mentioned X. So the first part you need to do just by reading these passages to identify what the variables are. In most of the questions I realized it is some scheme that you need to identify, or here in this question it is some organization that we need to identify. Now let's see if it is part of the static ESI or it is part of the current affairs. Okay, so this question here, X is the World Trade Organization. Now if you will see here, they have just provided some facts. They have not given any latest information needed. So this was part of the ESI static syllabus, and the chapter like in the syllabus, if you will see, we have a topic as international economic institutions, wherein this World Trade Organization WTO is one of that institution. So this was a question from the static part of ESI, but like when I read it, I found it really difficult to answer. But this is how they are asking. Also, if you will see, they have asked like when this particular organization was established. So now I think it is important to remember these data from ESI static part as well. Like speaking about me, I was focusing on data mostly on the current part, but now seeing the questions, we should focus on these like little details from the static part. Okay, similarly you can see here again they have asked who was the director general of X mentioned in the above passage. So you can see they are asking really detailed question, if you like, not just in current affairs, even in the static part. Also see if you see the last question, who is following, who of the which of the following is the highest decision making body. Okay, so like I felt this was really difficult question and we should be prepared for it. Now moving on to the next one. Here again they have a variable X mission. So this is about some mission, okay, which was launched by PM Narendra Modi on this date, and this is the venue. Okay, now they have given some details about the mission, like it is bringing behavioral change in individuals for combating climate change. So now you need to think, what was the uh, latest scheme which was related to climate change, which was under the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change. Okay, so these details we need to see. Now after that, this let's come to the questions. So here again they are asking what identify the mission X. So I think now, it's very, very important to read every scheme and every mission in a very detailed way so that we don't get confused. Like Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they might be having so many schemes which might be similar. Okay, so we will get confused. But here, if you see, like when I read it, even mission life is important for this year as well. So from this, I was able to understand, okay, this is mission life, scheme, and details were related. So I felt this was easy. Now, they could have asked other details as well, but what they asked is, at which of the following international event in 2021 was the mission X mentioned in above passage announced by Prime Minister? So now again, it is a detailed question, I think. So it's not like, they are asked from the current also, they are asking, very important points. They are asking some of the past history as well. So whatever news, whatever like schemes or missions are in news, for that, all the important points, like all the history should be known, all the background is important. Okay, now which of the following is not among seven theme of the mission X? Again, you should know all the seven themes so that you can pick out which theme is not correct out of these. So it's like, again, difficult question. Now coming on, X mission envisions three core shift towards sustainability in three phases. Now I'm telling you, I have read Mission Life, okay? Still, I know all these are phases, okay, but it is difficult for me to answer this question now, because I when I read, I simply, just memorized that there are three phases: policy, supply, demand. But I didn't, remembered it in sequence. I simply knew, okay, it was policy, supply, and demand. I thought, okay, some question will come, I'll eliminate. But it is difficult because now I need to map, like, which one was phase one out of these three, which was phase two, which was phase three. So okay, so it's like, I think it was easy part, because if you will understand the mission, you don't need to exactly memorize in the phases. But again, the point is that they are asking, they are making question difficult, even though you are aware about, you're having knowledge, but if you don't have the exact thing that they want to ask, that question can be difficult for you, and you might get a negative. Okay, moving on. It is like, which of the following is the first country to include this mission? I read this scheme. I was not aware of this question, but I think it must be India, because like mostly it was Mission Life was uh, involving India itself. Okay, so this was two questions. One we saw for static part, and another was from the current affairs. Now moving on, from 10 to 13th, there is a X report, okay, again a variable, is released twice a year by Y organization. So here, they have two variables now. So they are making it more difficult. So here what we need to do, they are giving some information about, what this report is doing, like X report, it presents economic forecast for the near and medium term, and you can read in detail. Now they're asking, identify the report X. Okay, now if you will see, economics and global economic situation, you can understand, okay, it is related to what? It is related to economic. Now, if you will see and check the options, okay, if I'll see, what I'll usually do is, I can get confused between word economic outlook and uh, C, D, and E option, okay? Now again, it is very important to read, difference in every report so that you can identify which one is the exact one. Here it was World Economic Outlook. Now you should know, like X, you are able to tell what is X report. Now it is released by Y organization. So now it is important that you know which organization releases this World Economic Outlook. Okay. So this information is important. Now you can see, there are so many, I was going through a report, and there are so many, these data points, and you need to remember everything very accurately, okay? Because what I thought, the options will be like easily eliminated. Let's say if it is something 1.75, they will give only one option around it, and other I can eliminate. But if you see the option, it is very important to know the exact value. Okay, it's like, they have 1.7, 1.8, okay, 1.2, 1.3. So you should know which one is the accurate one, okay? And also now the details they are asking, okay, that this report, is created during biannual exercise, which is they want to know which month, and results are released in what. Okay, so whenever this is released, after how many months lag, they'll release that report, for which time duration they're releasing it. So these information are becoming important nowadays. So very detailed things are required. Okay, again, this, this economic, whatever reports are released lately, and are in news, those are very important, and they are asking detailed questions regarding those uh, reports as well. Now coming on, there is another one where is they are given specific tribal groups in India, okay, and they are facing these issues, and they are more marginalized compared to the regular scheduled tribe, and they have given so many more information on this. And now they are asking you, okay, the development work of these tribal group mentioned in above passage are being taken care under which of the following priorities of the Saptarishi, seven priorities of the union budget. Now again, union budget is important. Why they have asked this question? This question is particularly on the PVTG. Okay, so what specifically they want to do is, in the union budget there was a budget allocated for this thing, so they asked a question on this. Now not just this, they are asking the detailed question. They could have asked what this scheme is, and this is related to which tribal group, like that they could have asked, but now they are asking more difficult question. Now, I'll tell you that I read this scheme particularly today itself. After going through this, I no before I read that scheme, and after that I was going through this question, and surprisingly, I read all of these information. Not this 14th question, but this 19th question, which of the following state does not have the presence of these tribal groups. Now, if you will see, I'll show you. Today itself, I read this particularly vulnerable tribal group, wherein they have mentioned how many PVTGs we have in India, and they are in how many states and union territories. Okay, and then states with no PVTGs. So you can see they have mentioned all these states. Now, particularly when I was reading it, I was like, okay, I'll remember how many number of states are having these tribal groups and which union territory is having. This information, I thought it is very difficult to remember, so I'll skip it. Okay, but if you see, we have got a direct question from here as to which state is not having these tribal group. If you will see here, from the year, Assam is there, and this is the answer over here. Okay, so the whole point is, the information which we think is very overwhelming, it is not important to remember it, but those questions itself they're asking. Similarly here they are saying which following criteria are being used by Government of India to identify these tribal groups. Again, when I was reading this, I read this part as well. Here itself, okay, relatively they have given here what are the criteria: pre-agriculture level and extremely low literacy. Okay, so these points are available here. So whole idea is, whenever you are reading any schemes are very important for ESI. I think if you want to score good in the objective part of ESI, it is very important to cover schemes. This part I knew from before, but from today's analysis, I understood it is very important to cover schemes in a detailed manner, and it is important to remember each and everything. They can ask anything. Okay. Now, moving ahead, from question number 17 to 20, this portal is registration of unorganized workers across the country, launched. They have given the date. Okay, what it aims, they have given the aim. Okay, and they have given some more details of like what all coverage we have and why we are using it. Now they're asking how many unorganized sector workers are enrolled in this portal. Okay, again a data question, you need to remember it. I'm not sure what the answer is. Okay, I'm not sure, but what I know is that this must be in the current news. That's why this question has been asked. This is completely a current affairs question. So you can see, they are asking numbers, then they are asking, it is implemented by whom, it is developed by whom. This question is like developed by which like Ministry of Meti and which ministry. So like that questions they are asking. Okay, after that, which of the following services can be accessed through this portal? Again, you have to remember what all services this portal, any portal is providing. So if you will see, they are, again I have mentioned, we, if from this, from past year questions, we can actually get an idea of the level of questions, and how they are framing it. It's not just like you can remember data, it will work, or you can just understand concept, it will work. No, it's not like that. Okay, next is it is asking which of the following ministry has added a new feature in this portal. So latest news also you need to remember. Latest news, what is the background? Okay, from that background, what all detailed information, they can ask everything we need to remember. Now these were the two markers. Now these you can see 20 questions. It will be 20 into 2, 40 marks. Now, from this, we can see that one question, which was having four, like one passage having four questions, was from the static parts, and all other were from the current affairs. So you can see, like in ESI, static is really less asked, but it is important to learn static parts so that we can understand the current affairs, obviously. Okay. Now moving ahead to the one markers. Okay, so here they have asked following statements are correct with respect to sovereign gold bond scheme. So, like I was aware about this scheme because I have invested in this scheme last year, I think. Okay, so I can answer it, but see why this is important. Let's go to that point. Firstly, this is the scheme by government RBI, and secondly it is again implemented by RBI. That is like most important thing. So whatever schemes are itself important, and whatever RBI is implementing, that is even more important. So what they have done is they have asked about the details, like what is the interest rate, how much, what is the issue price. Okay, so these questions you need to answer which one is the correct. Okay, now moving on. Prime Minister's scholarship scheme is being implemented to encourage technical and postgraduate education. Who among is the eligible? Who all are the eligible in the scheme? So here, if you will see, again they are asking questions on the like eligibility part, like who all are the eligible persons. Okay, so this must be in the current affairs. I'm not sure on this. Okay, now going ahead, it's like an NGO is trying to open Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendra. Now again, if you will see, this is even important for this year, because I think recently I was reading about this scheme. Okay, so again, they have asked what all the benefits available to this NGO. Okay, so numbers are there. They can make, if it is 12 they'll make 14, if it is 10 they'll make 12, or they'll change some percentage number from 15 to let's say 20. So you should remember these things. Even like these numbers, slight change they'll do, everything same, and just number change they'll do, and we will have one negative. So again, memory based, you need to remember these things. And only way to do it is revision, revise as much as possible. Okay, now again, Scheme X was launched by Government of India, okay, and this particular date to promote entrepreneurship at the grassroots level, focusing on the economic empowerment and job creation. Who among the following can avail benefit? Again, like on the like eligibility part, but now they have added this term, practical statements they have given. So what they have done is they are asking, like, okay, this is a scenario, you tell if this scheme is applicable or not. Okay, this is the scenario, tell me if they can avail that much of loan. So you need to have very detailed information, so only in that case you will be able to answer these. Okay, in one markers I have seen, they are asking quite real life questions. Okay, wherein they are giving you some scenarios. For example, here they have given Rajni, who is 35 years old and has two daughters. Okay, she lost her husband, and then there is a scheme. Okay, so tell me which one is the true. Again, you need to know like this scheme is eligible for whom, what are the benefits, it covers who also, you need to remember, and then only you can answer this. Even this one mark questions, okay, you need to have a detailed information. Again, if you will see, Harshit has a daughter Neha, who's now, it is about, if you will see, girl child. Okay, so you should know now which scheme is this. Even this year also this scheme is important. I somewhere read it, I don't know which month. It is Sukanya Samriddhi scheme. So what they have done, they have not mentioned it, but they have particularly mentioned that there's a man who is having a daughter at this age. Okay, tell me. Then their questions related to how, can she do, when can she do premature withdrawal? What is the validity? And if it is meant for, what is the age for which the scheme is valid? What is the age of that girl child? Like that questions they have asked. Okay. Now again, they have asked scheme, and then you need to identify what is the scheme. I think this now we now know they are not asking direct questions. They're giving you some information. Now the trick is that even to read these passages, this one is small, but if you go ahead, so it will take time to even read this and understand. So for this, your reading speed should be really good. So practice questions like this, wherein you can improve your reading speed, and also you can go with editorials and other things, because then we have time constraint also there, and we need to read it, just understand it, then we need to answer as well. So it is like, I think it is a time taking thing, so you should have a practice of this thing as well. Okay, and then moving ahead, again, Ministry of Civil Aviation, there is an initiative. You can read about it. I think it was really easy. Whosoever was traveling, they know it is DG Yatra. DG Yatra, okay. Now then again, about some government initiative related to Eklavya Model Residential School. Okay, now what they have asked is, they have asked some data again. Okay, they have asked some amount. So for me personally, I think these are the most difficult questions. It's difficult to remember per scheme, because there are like so many financial allocations you will read, some 50, 12, 13, and it's very difficult to remember which one is for which. So I think practice is the key. This is actually, I'm also trying to do same. I'm trying to practice as much as possible so I can remember all these things. Again, there is another scheme on Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, wherein they have mentioned these benefits which are correct about benefits. Again, benefits of the scheme, we have seen, like there are, I think, 4 or 5 questions just in this paper which covers benefits of the scheme. So scheme is important, what budget allocation is done to that scheme is important, scheme is of which ministry is important, then what is the eligibility criteria is important, all those numbers, like if there is loan, what is the interest rate on the loan, what is the maximum capping on some amount they're giving. So all these informations are really, really important. So I wanted to share all these things with you, because when I did the evaluation or the analysis today, I felt it was important. Hope this is important to you also. Let me know if you want me to analyze same for finance and management also. So this is it for today. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.